Another Brick fan with day 23 of the 2021 Advent calendars. This year I'm reviewing City, Star Wars, Avengers, and Harry Potter. And let's take a quick look at yesterday's builds. So from City we got a train engine. From Star Wars we got the child, or Grogu, and he's dressed of course in a red Christmas sweater. From Avengers we got Thor. And from Harry Potter we had Draco Malfoy. Let's go ahead and look at the day 23 builds. Here we have our City Advent calendar. We are on day 23, which is here in the second column on the far right, second row on the far right. And it looks like perhaps a car that goes with the train we built in day 22. Here's the little train car. Looks like it's carrying some gifts with some bows on them. And if we pair this up with the train, or the locomotive that we built yesterday, the train engine, we see a nice little train that can be built and put here. And then of course the train track is here on the box for the Advent calendar. Let's go ahead and move on to our next Advent calendar. Here's our Star Wars Advent calendar. We're on day 23, which is in row 2 here. Open that up, and it looks like it's the cradle or pram that the child that Grogu was in many of the Mandalorian episodes. So here is the little hover cradle or hover pram, and Grogu that we got yesterday fits in here very nicely on that jumper plate. So there is the child in his little hover pram. Let's move on to our next Advent calendar. Here we have the Avengers Advent calendar. We're looking for day 23, which is on the end of row 2 right here. And it looks like we've got a Christmas tree. Here's our Avengers Christmas tree. It's got a lot of these stud post pieces, and then some lighter green cheese wedges along with the slope pieces there to create this nice little Christmas tree effect on a wide white base. Let's go ahead and move on to our next Advent calendar. Here is the Harry Potter Advent calendar. We're looking for day 23, which is on the second row here. We will open this up, and it looks like we have a Christmas tree. Here's the Christmas tree that came with it day 23. And as you can see, it kind of alternates between having the stars up or down on the sides. So it turned out quite nicely. It's a pretty typical tree build with just a couple of different parts for this year. Now that we've done all the builds for day 23, let's go ahead and recap what we've done. Here are all of the builds for day 23, starting with City and this nice train car carrying a bunch of presents. This, of course, goes with the train engine we got yesterday, so you see how those two connect together. So when put together, we have a nice little train, and a little holiday train that we can show. This is the hover pram for the child. So once again, we can now put Grogu inside the hover chair, or hover pram. So there we have Grogu inside of the pram. And then for Avengers and Harry Potter, we got Christmas trees. So you see how they're done pretty differently. They both have some pearl gold elements as well as the greens. But this one has the little post pieces, whereas the Harry Potter one used the star pieces. And again, these are just built with a couple of different designs on the little branches there. Pretty common way to make Christmas trees or trees in general on a brick built tree with Lego. We've completed 23 of the 24 days of builds in these Advent calendars. So join me on Christmas Eve for the final builds of day 24. Until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I've left a link to many of my playlists up here on the screen.